Hi, I'm Terry Monville, Technical Advisor with West System Epoxy. Today we're going to be discussing the 300 mini pump set. In the package you'll receive the 3 pumps, one for the resin and for the 2 different hardeners. You'll also receive an extension kit that will modify the pumps so that they fit onto the A group size. And then you'll also receive directions on how to do the modifications that we're going over today. So when selecting a group size, you'll notice in the lower left-hand corner that this is a 105A. The A indicates that this is a quart of resin. And then when selecting a hardener, you'll also match a corresponding 205-A, 206A, 207SA, or a 209SA. Then we move on to group size B, which is a gallon, the 105-B. And then again, choosing the coordinating hardener and a 205-B, 206-B, 207-SB, or 209-SB. We move on to group size C, which again, down in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see it says 105-C. Choosing the coordinating hardener, a 205-C, 206-C, 207-SC, or 209-SC. Now that we understand the different group sizes, we're going to see how the pumps fit into each different group sizes and how to identify them to put them in the proper cans. The 300 mini pump pack comes set up for the B group and has extensions for the A group within it. We'll start with the resin, which is the largest pump. Larger square type head. It says resin on the sticker. If that for some reason got rubbed off from overuse, there's also a blue clip that helps indicate which one it goes into. On the cans, the blue labels, and it also says resin on the top. And as you can see, that would fit directly in there, no problem. We're gonna move on to the hardener pumps. This one is for the 205 and 206. It can be identified as being the smallest pump, long narrow head, and larger cap of the 2 remaining pumps. This is for the 205 and 206, which has a 5-to-1 mix ratio. It means 5 parts resin to 1 part hardener. But the convenience of using the pumps is they are calibrated, so it's 1 pump of resin to 1 pump of hardener. As you can see, this will fit the larger cap and has the right extension for the B, as that's how the pumps come set up. And the last hardener pump is for the specials, 207 special clear and 209 extra slow. Pump is kind of squared off, but it has a smaller cap, and that's the easiest way of identifying it. It's a different size pump because this is a 3-to-1 mix ratio, so 3 parts resin to 1 part hardener. And again, the pumps make it easy because it's 1 pump to 1 pump, resin to hardener. As you can see, this will fit nicely into the B-size containers, reach to the bottom, and the smaller caps will also fit together. The unique thing about the 207 and 209 is the cans do come 2/3 full because they're designed with equal pump strokes to run out of resin and hardener at the same time. So now we'll see how to modify the pumps to fit into the A containers. Again, in the packet was that nice little baggie of extra extensions, and we will start with the resin pump. We remove the extension from the B-size container and set it aside for now. In the packet, you'll see the 3 different extensions, 1 for each pump. We'll use the blue shortest extension for the resin pump. Again, matching the blue together, resin to resins. Making sure to push it in all the way so it reaches the bottom of the container. So you can see now that's modified and fits the quart can nicely. Now we'll move on to modifying the hardener pumps. We'll start with the 205 and 206. As you see, that came set up for the B-size container. We'll remove the extension for that, set it aside. And then in the packet of adapters that came with it, pump kit, are 2 more clear plastic tubes for extensions. The shorter pump uses the shorter extension. Again, making sure you push it in all the way so it doesn't hit the bottom of the can, and you'll still be able to tighten the top down. As you can see, that'll fit nicely. So moving on to the 207 and 209 pump with a smaller cap lid, we'll remove the extension that came with it for the B kit, set that aside for later. And the remaining, which is the longer, the 2 clear tubes, will fit on the bottom of this one to modify it for the A group size. As you can see, that fits the can nicely. Now that we've modified the pumps for the A group, we're going to take a look at how to modify the pumps when you select the C group. The 300 mini pump pack comes set up for the B group and it has extensions for the A group within it. When selecting the C group, the extensions come in the pack with the 105 C kit. in the box. In the extension kit, we receive a blue extension for the resin pump, a clear extension for the hardener pump for the 205 and 206, a cap for the resin container with a hole in it to fit the pump through, and the directions on how to modify the pumps. So we'll start with modifying the resin pump first again. Remember, as it comes in the package, it has the extension for the B group size, and we'll remove that, set it aside. Again, blue for the resin, pushing in all the way, and that will fit into the container. We replace the cap that comes on the container with the cap with a hole in it. Once you're placing that on there, the pump simply drops in and sets on top. It does have some friction so it doesn't just fall out. Putting that on, and it's ready to use. Now that we've got the resin pump ready to install, we'll now modify the 205 and 206 hardener, again with the larger cap. We'll remove the extension that came with it for the B size, and using the clear tube that came in the pack with the 105C, we'll modify it to fit the C size containers. As you can see, it'll fit nicely. Probably notice I haven't mentioned anything about the 207SC or 209SC. When making that selection at Hardeners, they come with their own extension kit in the box along with them, which consists of the extension tube, a replacement cap with a hole in it to fit the pump through, and the directions for modifying the pump for the 209 or 207 SC. Now for modifying the pump for the 207 and 209 hardeners. Remember, it's the one with the small cap, and it came set up for the B group. We'll remove the extension for the B and set it aside, and take the extension that came with the C group and install it into the bottom of the pump. Using the cap with a hole in it, again, just like the resin, push it through, a little bit of friction, and it kind of fits into place. And as you can see, that will fit nicely. Now that we've seen how to modify the pumps to fit the 3 different group sizes, let's take a look at installing and priming the pump on a 105B container. One of the first things you'll notice is that the cap is not likely to come off by hand. We tighten these down to a specific torque for shipping to make sure that they don't leak. So we'll use a pair of channel locks or pliers to remove the cap. Once it's broke loose, you can simply unscrew by hand. Then you'll notice that on the inside that there is an inner seal, again to make sure that it doesn't spill during shipping and that you receive a nice clean container. The easiest way I found to remove the inner seal is using a medium-sized flat blade screwdriver on a 45-degree angle, and then using a hammer to tap on it and punch a hole through it and pry it out. And now with the pump installed, we're going to prime it, just taking full strokes. It'll go very easily at first. You'll want a small cup to catch any resin that may drip out. And usually the 3rd or 4th stroke, depending on the length, you'll start to feel some pressure and a little bit of resin. Slowly let it up, and your pump, you'll now see, is ready to go. Now that the pump is installed, you can see that you'll get a continuous stream of epoxy through the whole stroke. As you dispense your resin hardener, you want to make sure that you have a continuous stream as you go through the full stroke. As you get towards the bottom of the can, you may start to suck up a little air and it'll spit and sputter. That's the time to stop, because without a full stream, you'd potentially be off ratio and your epoxy won't cure correctly. Other things that can throw the mix off ratio is doing partial strokes or really quick strokes. You want to make sure you do full strokes all the way down and let it respond on its own. No pulling up on the pump head. This is especially tempting in cold weather when the epoxy is more viscous and the pump is responding much slower. It's always good to double check the mix ratio of your pumps. If you want to learn how to do that, check out our mix ratio video on our YouTube channel. When you're done with using the resin hardener for that day, the pumps can remain on the cans, and they can even remain on the cans for long-term storage. The thing to look out for in long-term storage is that you may pick up some debris or dirt on the end of the cap. You want to clean that off. And the pumps may need to be reprimed or purged a little bit, as some may drip out or leak back into the can over time. The 300 milli pumps are highly convenient to have in your workshop. It's 1 pump of resin to 1 pump of hardener, regardless of which hardener you chose for your project. And this way you'll be on ratio and have a successful project every time.